Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 60 of the Galactic Window Space Podcast. My name is Nick, and sometimes when we come back from a 4-month season break, I am known as the Orbital Alliance.
And I am still just Tan, also known as Chasing the Milk.
Dude, Tan, welcome back, man. Holy cow.
Feels kind of weird.
It is weird, but it's oh so good, right?
Feels great. Yeah. Super excited to be back.
Yeah, it's been a hot 4 months of preparation and anticipation, but here we are, season 3 of the Galactic Window, and we're back in action, man.
Yeah, how you feeling?
I'm feeling excited, nervous, all like a nice little cocktail of emotions, but mostly joyful. I'm feeling overcome by joy, and especially seeing so many people tune in right now is just a fantastic feeling to know. We've got a nice astronomy community showing up, and music community also coming in for tonight. It's gonna be fantastic, man.
Yeah, look at all these people in here. We got a nice little room.
We do.
Welcome in, everyone.
Let's kind of do a little bit of a recap of what we do here. So, which one is explain what the Galactic Window Space Podcast is all about for those of you who might be new this season or tonight. So this show focuses on space and astronomy. And we love to share our stories and our experiences with those things, but we also love to have special guests on the show who have some influence in the space or astronomy community in some way. And that can be all different types of professions and hobbies and passions. But we love to showcase these individuals and give you, the viewer, a chance to view the galaxy, our own universe, in a slightly different way through the perspective of the others, which is sort of the guests, which is basically what the Galactic Window is. It's that special window that we all have. And we all get to view the same things in space, but we each receive those things in a unique way. So that's what that title means. So hopefully you guys are really excited for tonight, because we're definitely going to be looking through a special Galactic Window. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, it's gonna be good.
All said. I don't even know what to say after that. Tonight is tonight's a very special night, and to kind of add a little bit to what Nick is saying, I think the ultimate goal is to share a little bit about how beautiful astronomy can be. I think right now more than ever, I think we all just need to look up a little more, and we feel like this is one of the best ways to share that, is not only through our lens, but so many others, and tonight is no exception. So as always, make sure you guys grab a drink, grab a snack. And I do want to mention, we're going to try our best to read some of the comments here, but we are going to save it for a little bit towards the middle or the end of the show. So we see you guys. We're not trying to ignore you, but we just want to make sure that we focus on our guest for a little bit. But we really appreciate every single person that's in here. And we're always so grateful for, every single one of you guys being here. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. All of you guys, thank you so much.
Totally. So what do you say, man? Should we welcome our guest to the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Sleeping at Last is the musical identity of Chicago native singer-songwriter and composer Ryan O'Neal.
With over 5 billion cumulative streams, his work has been featured in over 100 films, shows, and ads, from The Twilight Saga to Grey's Anatomy.
After starting as an indie rock band in the early 2000s, Ryan evolved Sleeping at Last into a deeply emotional, cinematic journey exploring life, love, and the universe itself.
Through his projects Atlas, Astronomy, and Atoms, Ryan captures both the vastness of the cosmos and the beauty of everyday moments, reminding us how connected everything truly is. Now let's take a look through the Galactic Window with Ryan O'Neal. Welcome, Ryan O'Neal, Sleeping at Last.
Hi, guys.
Welcome in.
Hello. That's so sweet. I love that intro video. Thank you so much. I feel very, very honored.
Oh, you are so very welcome. Good, sir. It's a pleasure to have you here. Tan and I have been huge fans of yours for such a long time, like years.
Thank you.
So this feels like a full circle moment from our perspective, really.
Oh, that's really kind. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We're go ahead, Tan. What you got?
No, I was gonna say this is really cool. Thanks for being here. This is awesome.
Oh man, it's completely my pleasure. I'm so excited to get to talk to you guys.
Cool.
So right out of the gate here, there's actually something that I didn't bring up with you when we were in rehearsal right before this. And it's a little connection point that I realized that you and I have actually had a connection point on the internet once before, and I thought, oh man, we totally have to talk about
right?
this right out of the rip. It's a small one, but a connection nonetheless. So I'm gonna
wonderful.
pull up a little graphic here, a screen capture. Let me showcase this. So this is a post on X, the social media platform. And I had posted during the Parade of Planets event back in 2022 that while I was out imaging, I was listening to your Parade of Planets song, and I tagged you in it and shared it, and you gave a little reply, which you can see here on the screen.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was super cool to kind of show how, you have this tie to astronomy and music, and it touches people all over the world, in a very special way. So it's cool to listen to your song while I was capturing that exact moment.
That is so nice. That is seriously, I'm glad it wasn't like a bad interaction or something.
No,
you're like, I just want to show people what you do. It's like a mean letter. No,
yeah,
no, mean letters. But that is so cool. I actually do remember seeing that because the photo is so beautiful. How you captured even like the your phone with the artwork on there. Yeah, so that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
that connecting point.
It was funny because I had my camera on a tripod. I had my phone, and I realized, I'm like, how am I going to take this picture? Because I don't have my phone, and I had a second camera in my bag, luckily. So I'm
always ready. Love it.
Crouch down at the right angle to get the moon in the shot, and the camera and the phone, and expose it all well, and it worked out.
Beautiful shot. Yeah, thank you for letting my music accompany that too. That's like, that is literally like the dream come true for me to hear, because those astronomy songs, like that's what I imagine them being, is the soundtrack to those astronomical moments. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, man, such a cool thing.
Yeah,
well, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, let's do it.
Take it away, Tan.
You want to start off, Nick? Pass it right back to you.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can totally do that. Great. So, of course, we brought you on the show here tonight because you have sort of taken these two giant topics, music and astronomy, these two kind of slices of the human experience. Very different. One's very scientific, one is more artistic and creative, and you've melded them into this beautiful concoction that has kind of helped shape your identity and your career in a lot of ways. And of course, it's impacted us, and it's impacted people all over the planet, which is really cool. So we kind of want to dive into the general side of things here right off the top of the show. And we want to ask about your personal connection to astronomy, and like, how does that serve as inspiration for you in your work?
Yeah, for sure. So I have loved space for as long as I can remember. I've just been kind of obsessed as a kid. And eventually in my career of making music, I loved writing thematic music. So I would always have these themes that I was inspired by, and I kind of use all these different themes as jumping off points. And that led to me starting a project called Atlas, which is this 80-song body of work that I've been working on for the last, almost decade now. And in that project, I thought it'd be really interesting to try to write a song inspired by each of the planets, including the moon, which I know is not a planet. I feel like I have to say that. And I also included Pluto as a bonus track. So I was like, I had so much fun diving deep into the research of each of those planets and sort of the mythology around even their names. And I loved, like, it was the most creatively satisfying thing I've ever worked on, with just like, learning about Mercury and then choosing to only use metallic instruments for that song, that sort of thing. It was just so inspiring. And I was really sad when I finished writing those songs. And so that led to me like wanting to create a separate project called Astronomy, which is all songs inspired by astronomical events. So anytime something cool happens in the universe, something observable, I try to keep my ears to the ground for whenever that's happening, and then I will try to write a piece of music essentially as the soundtrack to that astronomical event. And so that keeps me working on space music and all throughout the year, not just as part of my Atlas project. So that's kind of where it began. But I've from everything from sci-fi to just always being obsessed with the stars and looking up, keeping my eyes up. Um, I, I just have been enamored with space since as long as I can remember.
Hmm. What sort of, when you think about space and the ability to walk outside at night and look up, like what feeling like swells up in you? Do you have a description for what you feel when you see space with your own eyes?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. I'm a little bit of a nervous energy, and so I feel like when I look up at the stars, I it's one of the few moments outside of sleeping that I feel some sort of meditation or calm. And there's even when I'm trying to observe something, there's some sort of meditative practice in the patience required to try to catch some interesting event going on in outer space. But so yeah, so I would say it's kind of a rare sense of calm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Love it.
And that's like completely ignoring just like the absolute awe and wonder of how tiny and insignificant, but so significant we are, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Well said. I think a lot of us stargazers share that same sentiment. It's really cool because your music, it often captures that same feeling we get when we're looking up, which is small but
Oh,
somehow connected.
oh, that's so
Um,
cool to hear. Yeah, thank you.
yeah, I'm curious. Do you have any memories or moments with the night sky that have had a lasting impact on you, or just the way you create music?
Yeah, I I would say the first event that I started writing my astronomy songs over was back in 2017. It was the solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse, and I had never witnessed any form of an eclipse before that, and um, it was the most like kind of spiritual experience I think I've ever had. it was it was really incredible, and so ever since, which was kind of an amazing event to start this project with, because I basically tried to research it as much as possible leading up to it so that the song could come out on the day of the actual total eclipse. Um, and it was people kept talking about it as this like euphoric experience, and I was like, I don't totally get it, but I'm going to try to write something inspired by what I wish it would feel like, and actually being there in person and getting to witness a total solar eclipse. It was like it truly like I love music because it eventually, sometimes occasionally can give you like goosebumps and can make the hair on your arm stand up. That's my favorite experience of life. I love that feeling. And that experience of witnessing that 2017 eclipse it was like the that times a million. It
Mhm.
just felt so like, what in the world? So yeah, it was that like I was already in love with space before that, but that definitely solidified not only that project astronomy, but it also just made me way more curious to continue my very very um novice astronomy myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm getting like chills and tingles, and maybe even like tearing up a little bit thinking about the eclipse as
uh
well. Like, I mean, just hearing you
it's
describe it again, I'm like reliving it. Yeah.
it's so special, and I did get to my family and I live half the time in London and half the time in Illinois, and we did fly back for the eclipse. Was it last year or the year before? I
Yeah,
can't
last
remember.
year.
Was it
Mhm.
last year? Oh my
April.
gosh, I'm
Yeah.
losing track.
Yeah.
um, and that was so special as well. We got to view it in Indianapolis, I believe,
Mhm.
and yeah, still so magical. But there was something about that first time that was I don't think I'll ever be able to top that experience.
Yeah. I I'm actually kind of curious because the eclipse for me was also a very spiritual moment, and it's one that I've still to this day have a really hard time of trying to explain to someone who's never seen it. If they
Yeah,
have seen it,
same.
they get it. But if you
Yeah,
haven't,
and then almost everybody I've talked to, I was like, "Have you ever seen an eclipse?" Like, yeah, it was like 90% or 95%. I'm like, no, you
Yeah.
you need to. I hate to be that guy, but you need full totality in order for it to like have whatever that effect is. I couldn't put my finger on what that was either. It's the same thing. Like it's hard to explain to anybody.
Yeah, even at 99%, it's still it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's
Yeah.
so cool, but not the same. Like there is something, and this is my interpretation of it, and maybe everybody has definitely everyone has a different experience, but there was something about the environment reacting to the eclipse that like not only just the people being in awe, but there was like a shift in like insects and a shift in just the air and how it felt, and there was something about that happening so quickly that it felt like you just realized the fragility of everything. Like we get so used to night and day and so predictably uh, um, we just take it for granted, and I feel like that little tiny shift of the dial for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever it was, uh, that felt significant in a way that was beyond like your conceiving of it, if that makes sense. See, I can't explain it either. Case in point.
I mean, as somebody who's experienced it too, I followed you 100%. It made perfect sense, and there's literally no other phenomenon at all ever in any country, any point on the planet that can mimic it, and it's
that's right. Yeah,
it's so unique and unforgettable.
Yeah, it was very, very special. So that, it is kind of funny because I had already had this deep love of all things astronomy, and then that being the first event to write a song for as this little soundtrack. I was very grateful to get to start there because that really lit the whole thing on fire for me, just in what I creatively, and even like going to an event like that and what I wanted to hear, like that it kind of informed all the rest of the music that I've written in that series of songs.
You kind of alluded to something a couple minutes ago, and then it sort of ties into with the eclipse conversation. But you love to include these kind of production Easter eggs in your astronomy music, which I think are phenomenal. And an example being, this total solar eclipse song that you wrote. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, you made the duration of the song the exact amount of time that the totality event was for the eclipse. And then there's kind of been there's probably a giant list of these types of Easter eggs you've included. I think another one I remember for the planetary parade one, I think for each of the 8 planets, I think you limited yourself to 8 instruments to write that song.
Thank you for knowing that. That's all like stuff I do for myself that just feels so dorky, and I get like sometimes my criteria for even like a limitation like that, like only 8 instruments. There's times where I'm like, why am I making it so hard for myself? These rules that I create for myself. But I appreciate you noticing that. It's a fun. It keeps me. I think it keeps me thinking about like just asking myself interesting questions, like what does a comet sound like? What does what does an eclipse sound like? Like all these different types of things. It helps me. It just feels like nothing. The better way to say it is nothing is scarier than a blank canvas, and I feel like these types of things, they provide some paint that I can be like, oh cool, well I definitely want to use that color and that color and that color because it makes sense. But thank you for noticing my little Easter eggs. I do that across all of my music, and it's one of my greatest like joys and some of them are pretty like deeply hidden where I don't even tell people. But I feel like music is such a it is such a time capsule, and I love it being a form of like an audio journal for me. So whether it's instrumentation and my instrumental music, or if it's in my songwriting, it can do it on its own. But I really do like to include like voice memo recordings of field recordings of where I am, and then I love playing with theme in all these, especially the astronomy songs. It's really fun.
Well, we can't tell you enough how much we love it. It's like
that's so cool.
Absolutely incredible. And I got to know, maybe from your perspective, which of those Easter eggs in particular with your astronomy music are you the most proud of devising? Which one do
Ooh.
you like the most?
Oh, I'm gonna have a boring answer. I really enjoy. Okay, so I can't remember which song it was, but there was an image. I think it was the first image of a black hole, and I was trying to figure out how to get the image to make sound. And so I found this like programmed, internet instrument that you can run like an image through, and it will create these just haphazard, like chaotic sounds. And so I used that. I really enjoyed that. That was like a fun process to, again, ask myself, what does a picture sound like? So, but I really love playing around with length. So like you mentioned, I wanted to do the maximum totality, and that was, I think, I can't remember the exact, actually I can. In 2017, it was 2 minutes and 40 seconds was the maximum totality. And I actually got to see it, I think, somewhere where it was like 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So I got almost close to maximum totality. But so that kind of stuff is just real nerd fun for me.
I love it.
It's real fun for us too, and I
Thank you.
I just want to add to it because like just finding these Easter eggs or hearing you talk about them um, allowed me to appreciate your music through a different lens.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
yeah, like a good example is where you could play a song in your daughter's room and you would have like the ambient noises in the background versus playing it in like a church hall. And there's
Yeah.
one specific song, I don't remember the name of it, but you were adjusting the decibels in like certain increments and things like this. Most people just would never know, or yeah, they would just never know. And knowing that just adds an extra layer to it. And
Oh,
like Nick said earlier, we appreciate it. So keep on doing it.
that's so sweet and encouraging to hear, because I really do, sometimes it feels like I make things a little too hard for myself, and that anybody cares about that means so much to me. And yeah, I do it in most songs too, where like as I'm mixing, I have a mixer as well, but as I'm like kind of pre-mix it, the levels, even though I'm like listening with my ears and I'm mixing according to how it feels and sounds, but I need the meters to read at a certain. I'm like, all right, well, this this event was 300,000 miles away or whatever it is. Then I need everything has to be in threes. So the whole like every has to be minus 3 decibels. It has to be plus or 3.3 or whatever. So thank you for noticing my nerdery. I appreciate it. It's a high compliment.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
Um,
and yeah, hearing that it adds meaning to it for you guys too. That's a huge kindness. So thank you.
yeah, absolutely. Um, one thing I also really appreciate whenever I was um, just binging your music is you often write what you call sibling songs. So,
Yeah.
like Build and Destroy or Doubt and Believe. And it's like one track feels like it's in conversation with the other. And for that,
Oh, that's
this is
great.
a two-part question for me or for you. First one is, what is it about your creative process or your way of seeing the world that draws you to express ideas in pairs like that? And when those songs like come to life, does it like do they usually emerge together or does one reveal itself and inspire its counterpart later on?
That is such a cool question, and I love what you said about they're sort of having a conversation with one another. That I'm going to borrow that because that is such great language for it. Um, I started writing the sibling songs as part of this. It's called Atlas 3. So Atlas is a trilogy: Atlas 1, 2, and 3. And I'm kind of coming to the finish line on Atlas 3. But with this particular chapter of it, it is all about like what we do with what we're given, and so it's all basically like voluntary human. Um, all of our decisions. It's everything. Whereas Atlas 2 was all about involuntary human choice, or it's just everything you are born with, and this is like everything we do with what we're born with. And so, as I was thinking through that, I was like, oh, it's like multiple coins. Each thing that we do has like a not even a dark side and a light side. It has two sides of it. So to build and destroy is a huge part of our living experience, and we actively build and destroy things every single day. Belief and doubt, and that was an interesting pair to write too, because it felt like I was trying to write these two different perspectives, but they were very much, like you said, in conversation with one another, and they're kind of the same. So not only is part of the same coin, but like you have to have a significant amount of doubt in order to have any form of faith. And so I love that kind of like that idea. And so yeah, so this has been how I've been exploring Atlas 3. And this is like way too in the weeds, but have you ever heard of spiral dynamics? Are you familiar with that
No, I'm
idea?
not. Mm.
It is, I can't really put it into a nutshell without like just completely misunderstanding or like,
Do it, please.
okay, so it's this idea. It's this idea that I think it was Claire Graves, and I can't remember who else kind of discovered this, but essentially you look at all of human history and you start to notice these patterns of not only on an individual level, but in a humanity level. Like we need to go through these kind of levels in our development. And they kind of color coordinate them. So like beige is the first level of development, which is essentially all about survival. It's just like eat, sleep, and just stay alive. And then you kind of keep going through these different levels. And so with Atlas 3, I am loosely inspiring these different themes about what we do with all that we're given around this idea of spiral dynamics. Sort of each EP or each sibling songs are sort of branching out into this more complex version of humanity. So it's a terrible way to explain spiral dynamics, but it is fascinating to kind of look through these different, you can kind of recognize them in yourself on a very individual level, but mostly you see it in just like society and groups of people, and it's a beautiful lens to see things through. And so I've been slowly researching a little bit of that and trying to map things out in my Atlas, pun intended, project to kind of make some developmental sense. I'm kind of ordering, our human development in the order of spiral dynamics.
Wow.
So, like I said, we're in the weeds.
Well,
Your viewers just like there's nobody left.
Oh no, I think you're coming in.
I am maybe a bad influence on encourage people to go further into the weeds. It's kind of our bread and butter.
I shouldn't have done that.
No, it's a good thing. I love it.
Please come back. You can fish back out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Really quick, I want to sort of ask you to explain for people. You have these 3 projects, just really quick, and we'll kind of reroute back to where we were. So you've got Atlas, Astronomy, and Atoms, and they all sort of capture this different focal lengths of the human experience. Can you explain just at the macro level what all those mean and why?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so astronomy is my telescope. It is what keeps me constantly looking upward and keeping my perspective as big and wide as possible. And so they are essentially instrumental pieces of music inspired by astronomical events, as I mentioned. And Atoms, that project, is all about the micro. So it's my microscope. It's like I see something beautiful, the way water is moving, and I take a little tiny video of it, just 1 minute long, and then I will write a piece of music for that 1 little minute as sort of like a meditative, just a creative practice almost. And that keeps me grounded, and I really, really love that. So Atlas is my main project. It's where my vocal comes in. It's where all of my songs, my traditional songs, live, and that is meant to be a collection of maps. It's the everything in between the micro and the macro. So it's the human experience, and it is the thread between those two things. And so that is where I'm, working on these 80 songs, but it is a finite, kind of a circular idea. It started with the theme of darkness, and then it ends with death. And so essentially in Atlas, it's if you imagine a lens, just sort of like the unknown, darkness, we don't know what that is, and then the existence of everything is light, and then that follows through the planets and kind of getting closer and closer to us, and then that wraps up. I do a song for each of the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, and a song for each of our world's oceans, and then that kind of ends Atlas 1, and then Atlas 2 begins, and it's all about what we're born with It's involuntary human development. So it's family. It's songs based on the Enneagram, which is a kind of an idea of personality. Song for our 5 basic human senses, and our kind of our intelligence centers as well. And then now we're in Atlas 3, and that is voluntary human development. So it's everything we choose to do with all that we're given. And so really, again, even though my 3 projects, astronomy, atoms, and Atlas, are all kind of interconnected, the trilogy of Atlas is even more connected in that way, where it's like the lens is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So again, we're in the weeds.
It's so cool. I mean, you've used art to sort of fill in another portion of the light spectrum, like where there's maybe it's almost like another form of science. You've turned it into another science.
That's
Whereas
really
maybe
cool.
traditional science is, what's in the visible wavelength, right?
Yeah.
Your Roy G. Bivs. And then you've sort of created maybe this subsection that maybe it's scientific and artistic at the same time, but it's like infrared. You can't see with the human eye, but it's still there, and
I love that.
I'm like, holy cow. Like,
guys, I'm gonna hire you to write my bio. This is really, I really appreciate you guys are so you have a very complimentary brush, and I appreciate that.
Totally. Yeah, no worries.
Eloquent.
Yeah. So you also have this antenna that kind of goes up for astronomical events. Of course, we've been talking about that. You kind of pay attention to what's happening in the astronomy world, the scientific world, and that, of course, gives you quite a bit of intrigue about what's going on. Maybe even in the present. But I'm curious to kind of shift your focus a little bit into the future, using what you've learned about astronomy and considering what you've kind of interpreted from it in your music writing experience. Like, what is your hope or perhaps vision for the human experience in space? I'm not sure if that is clear. Let me know if you need some more clarity, but I don't know.
No, what a cool question. What a difficult question. I think it's pretty simple. I feel like the more we learn and the more we get to witness and experience, I hope that it would open us up in a way to receive more, I don't know, just to be in a longer, more joyful state of wonder. I feel like that's kind of what I like in every sort of in every discovery or just I mean, what an incredible time in history to be a space dork. It really is. It is like a pretty amazing. It's a pretty like the tools and the technology that we have is special, and I hope that leads to a much greater sense of just awe and wonder. I feel like, and not to make this very very sad, but having gone through a death in the family in the last few years, it had this similar effect that I hope astronomy can continue to have on all astronomers, which is there are certain things that happen that are so big that it just widens every part of you. It opens you up in a way, and that's what grief did for me in the worst way. It's what it did to my faith. In some ways, it made it more complicated, and in other ways, it made it a lot more hands open, hands out. And I feel that way when I am any form of astronomy. It kind of brings me to that space where it's just like, oh my goodness, like this experience that we're having, even witnessing it, is so sacred, and it's special that we get to, with our eyeballs, we get to see these incredible things. And so yeah, that's kind of what I hope our continual pursuit of discovery and knowledge, that it will just lead to that, like just a bigger openness. It's not a great answer, but it's a great question.
Oh, are you kidding? Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, well said.
Thanks.
You mentioned faith, and I wanted to ask you this. For me, I haven't really found an easy way to answer whenever people ask me like what I believe in. It's always just like this long-winded answer. And I just wanted to ask you, like, where do you stand? Like, what does faith look like to you?
I I am kind of discovering that every day. So I grew up in a Christian faith, and a lot of that remains in my ideas, but again, even loss and the older I get, the more okay I am to not have any idea. If that
Mhm.
makes sense. Which I used to like I felt so like ashamed if I would you know, especially I didn't grow up like very, very religious, but I certainly had a lot of very religious people in my life, and there was a sense of like if you weren't concrete in your faith, that it was like you should be ashamed. And the older I get, the more I just realize again that like an open hand is so much more powerful than a closed hand. And I I think if we're supposed whatever we're supposed to know, we're supposed to know, and it seems like we're not supposed to know much right now. If that makes sense. It seems like we're supposed to slowly peel back layers on a human level, on a just a personal level, um, on a universal level in our discoveries of in science and everything. Yeah. So I feel like I can't quite put my finger on what I exactly believe. I mean, I have some basic axioms that I like to believe. And this has been an interesting. I have two young daughters, 11 and 9, and to bring them up in a world with just with those large questions is an interesting thing. It helps you see them very, very differently. It helps me answer them for myself in a way. I actually feel like when I explain any idea of what God is to my kids, that is the only time it makes sense. You know what I mean? And like it literally, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. And my daughter, when she's like maybe 3 years old, maybe 4 years old, and she had the most beautiful question that I felt like it still just kind of sticks with me. She's like, she was reading, like we were in a hotel room and there's like some Bible, and she's holding the book upside down, and she's like, Dad, what what God? And I'm like, first of all, great question. And then I think she said something like, is God a boy or a girl? And then I was like, I don't know, what do you think? And my daughter said, I think she's a boy. And I was like, oh my gosh, you get it. You totally get it. You're amazing. Yeah. So anyway.
That's fantastic. Oh,
That's a such a great answer because I feel so strongly with a lot of what you said.
Mm,
And it's actually what I meant whenever people ask me. I just don't really haven't really navigated and learned how to like answer it. But in short, it's weird because science will say, I like being spiritual, like it's hard to coexist with like
yes,
scientific stuff. And I
sure. It
myself
can.
have had very interesting experiences in my personal life where it led me down a very spiritual path. So now I
Yeah.
have science and I have woo woo is what I call it. And I think I've just accepted that I might not know the answer. And instead of maybe spending all of my resources and mental capacity and trying to figure out what it is, I think it's now more of, well, I don't know, and that's okay. Like, let's
Yeah.
just enjoy whatever this I'm experiencing right now, like whatever's happening.
Yeah.
It's cool. It can be pretty cool. It's not perfect, but it can be pretty cool, and I'm just gonna enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And if we find out, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
100%. And that's so beautiful. It sounds like we're in similar paths, which is I'm just becoming so much more not only accepting, but so much more excited about mystery.
Mhm.
Like that's kind of it. Like I just like when my mom died a few years ago, it it made me ask a lot of hard questions, as it should. And yeah, there's some deep comfort in mystery. And actually, I kind of love, like, I don't I'm not an arguer. I hate conflict in every capacity, and but I would have these really big debates with my mom, and they were so fun. And I think it's because nobody actually gets to be right. Nobody knows. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's one of the few things where I'm like, oh yeah, you can learn as much as you possibly can, but essentially we're in the same boat if I learn nothing because we don't know, and we're not supposed to know, and I'm happy with that. So I got like faith and all things religion is some of my favorite things to argue about. If there was a topic that I could get behind arguing, it'd be that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't be right. Yeah.
I've kind of discovered a similar situation in my own journey. And the way I've best summed it up in recent years is sort of to just be living in the question. You know,
Yeah,
that's
that's
kind of
great.
been my mantra. Whereas perhaps I've spent a majority of my life in a place of certainty, that the way that
Yes,
I knew things to be was and is, but that just sets you up for failure, and it
it
did.
really does.
So it's like, living in the question and acknowledging, yeah, like you said, open hand gives you a lot more space to move and live, and I'm okay with that. So
Beautiful.
yeah, I love that
Yeah,
we all kind of found similar
yeah. Living in the question.
story.
That's beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Nick, I hope you don't mind. I kind of want to um just pin a comment real quick. There's so well, but first of all, there's so many really good comments, and I wish I could pin all of them. But I just I love this so much, and it's something so simple. But Karen says faith
Yeah,
is so different and looks different for everyone. It is it's so simple to say that, but I think it's completely overlooked every single day. We all kind of just have this like it feels like everyone has all these expectations that are just kind of like being projected from their own like biases, right? It's like, oh, how could this person do this? Or why didn't this person like whatever? Well,
sure.
it's they're a completely different human with so many different things going on in their life. We can't possibly expect someone to just automatically connect and see eye to eye. But
That's exactly right.
yeah,
Yeah, and people's faith experience, as they said, like, it really, I think there's so much beauty in the practice of faith, and there's so much beauty in every experience that I've come, I mean, not every experience, but a lot of experience I've come across. And I think that it's a really great thing to remember that,
Mhm.
especially as you walk through this life and think you know anything.
yeah,
Yeah, I appreciate your vulnerability on that. I know this, obviously faith and religion, of course, is a difficult topic sometimes to open up about, especially in front of essentially a stage that's open to the world. But regardless, we're grateful for you sharing where you're at and how that influences your music and the structure of your
Thank you.
projects. It's pretty powerful, and I would
Thank you.
say, keep going. The more that you can infuse that, your mantras, your axioms, your your modes of faith, or whatever it means to you, into what you're doing, I think the better. So carry on,
Thank you.
carry on.
Oh, it's so kind. Thank you very much. Thanks for creating a really beautiful community and a space to explore all these things.
Mhm.
It's really, really special.
Well, and to make it nerdy, I couldn't help it when you shared the story about your daughter and the wonderful way of interpreting God. I couldn't help but think of a quote from Star Wars where in episode 2, Yoda says, "Truly wonderful the mind of a child is." I just like it's,
Yeah. That makes me so happy.
it's that's
That's true.
exactly what came to mind when I heard that. So
Oh my
it's
gosh,
wonderful.
100%. That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now
um,
now people are gonna leave because of that pitiful Yoda
No, no
impression.
way. People, I think they just got their friends.
Yeah.
It's a great impression. It's a great
Oh my
impression.
gosh.
No, but I believe that. I really do. I feel like yeah, being a parent it has shown me everything I don't know, which is in real clarity, And it also, yeah, you get to re-experience and re-ask huge questions, and that's like one of the most special things, because they have so much more capacity than I think anyone gives them credit for, to accept and to hold everything loosely. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're just unfiltered in the best way. They're
Yeah.
purest forms of adults, really.
Yeah, that's totally
Kinda
true.
backwards. Yeah. So
It is. It is.
capture the moments while you can.
For sure. For sure.
Ryan, I kind of want to jump back just a tiny bit to
Yeah.
music.
Absolutely.
There's such an incredible amount of care and meaning behind everything that you create. I just want to know if there's a piece of wisdom or maybe inspiration about life, creativity, or just the sense of wonder that drives you. Like something that the audience here or our listeners might carry with them after the show.
Oh wow, that is a huge one. We're trying to think of Yoda quotes. I do love Star Wars, so
Nice.
no, I feel, I'm trying to think. It all sounds trite. Everything I'm thinking of sounds so trite, but I do feel like it awe is one of the most special experiences you can have as a person, and I think orienting as much of yourself as possible in astronomy or anything that brings you joy, just being in nature or being with someone that lights you up in that way. Yeah, that's, I feel like somehow it's such a simple idea, but somehow we don't really prioritize that feeling. It's sort of like a surprise when it happens, and then we tuck it away. But I really do feel like awe is it's vital to keeping everything moving in our soul. That's terrible. I'd rather. Do you have a quote from Yoda? Please bring out the impression. Please, I need help.
There's a line somewhere. I know it.
There's a line.
It'll come to me as soon as we end the show. I'm gonna be sitting. I'm gonna be like making food in the kitchen. I'm like,
That's great. No, this has been such a joy. Seriously, thank you for. I think it's such a beautiful topic that you guys are exploring, and yeah, it means a lot that you've given me time to chat and to explore some of this with you.
Totally. Well, we know that this is certainly the tip of the iceberg. I bet we could talk for hours and hours about space and how it intertwines with music. And I mean, I know we certainly want to know more, but yeah, we're extremely grateful for the precious minutes you're able to share with us. Couple last things to hit before we say goodbye for the night. We do want to know, like, what are there any astronomical events that you're looking forward to turning into music that might be coming up in the future? That we can know about. If it's a spoiler, feel free to tell us. No, we don't want to talk about.
No, I'm very disorganized. Even though it sounds like I've got all these maps of everything I want to write about, and all the events coming up for astronomy. I actually usually I am deciding to write a piece of music for astronomy like 8 minutes before it's supposed to come out. No, it's like usually a couple days before or something, and like I'll hear about something, I'm like, I don't know, that sounds pretty cool, but it kind of sounds similar to like the event that I wrote a song for 4 years ago or whatever it is. And then like one more piece of information comes out about it, I'm like, I do want to write that, and it happens in like 2 days. And so that often happens where I'm trying to write something very, very quickly. But I would actually like to reverse that question and ask you guys, is there any events coming up that you would like to hear a piece of astronomy, a piece of music for astronomy?
Ooh. Oh boy.
Yeah.
The gears are turning.
Yeah. I got one right off the bat.
Yeah. I'm writing it down.
Well, 3A Atlas. I feel like that's kind of just a full circle moment. There's so much. it's a hot topic right now, and
Yeah,
you kind of
absolutely.
have two sides of the coin here. One is voting for alien mothership, and
Mhm.
the other is it's a comet. So I I don't know. I don't know what that would look like, but it's just something that is just such a big topic in the astronomical universe right now. And um, yeah, I don't. First thing that came to my head
No,
was
that's actually, so I was very close to trying to write something actually last week, because I know people were very excited to see what was going to happen when it gets closer to the sun. And I also was like really rooting for alien ship. A little bit let down, gotta be honest. But but I actually I would like to write something for it. Was correct me if I'm wrong, was it discovered in July?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Okay.
sure myself.
Yeah.
I think it was, and I've done that before where it doesn't have to be upcoming. Like I'll let it go backwards and write a song. But I do date every song that is for an astronomical event with the date itself. And I almost wrote one for the discovery of it, and then I was like, I don't know, but I was definitely going to write one if it was a mothership.
It's not too
Maybe the
late, I
last
don't
song
think.
might be the last song that I write, but but yeah, I would love to. I would love to try to write something for that. How about you, Nick?
Yeah,
Not to put you
totally.
on the spot. I'm making you guys schedule out my my project.
Totally. No, I absolutely have an answer. So, anybody who watches the show or knows me personally, my absolute number one favorite thing about the topic of space is the International Space Station. I
Yeah. Oh
am
yeah.
obsessed with it. It has been my number one thing that I've imaged in so many different ways. There's so many different ways to image it and capture it from here on Earth, right in your own backyard. And it's been this wonderful example of international cooperation and honestly humanity at its finest. uh
Yeah. Yeah.
well over 15 different countries came together to build the most expensive construct ever in space. So I think it was over $100 billion and rising, and it's been up there with humans for 25 years. We've never done that before. It's just it it really is this tiny little example of humanity when it's doing things right. And obviously it's not perfect, but
Yeah.
like uh countries that, you know, 2 generations ago were literally at war, Russia, Germany, Japan, the United States, Canada, England, I mean, all these countries that were at each other's throats are collaborating, and they're friends, and they're in pursuit of science together. And it's just one slice of it, but I love that there's always this ongoing experience, and it happens right above us all the time. Goes around the earth 16 times a day, whether it's day or night, and most people have no idea it's there, which honestly is kind of sad.
Yeah.
There's been a
Oh my gosh.
continuous human presence in space for 25 years, and um and the story's not over, which I think is what's really cool. But they're forecasting it to be deorbited in about 2030 or 2031. I'm gonna cry hard, honestly, because I feel like I know.
I did not hear about that. I had no idea that they're deorbiting it, decommissioning
Yeah.
it.
In short, it's deteriorating. It's old, and as time goes on, it becomes more of a liability and a risk for its inhabitants and its
Yeah.
crew. There's ways to mitigate that, ways to improve it, but there's less and less interest and funding, right now to keep that
Mm.
going. So it's cheaper to let it burn up. But um, I guess maybe to kind of round up the answer, I think that is such a beautiful example that's right in front of our nose, and yet it's so hidden and it's so massive at the same. It's like this
I
beautiful
I
contradiction.
love that. Yeah, no, I think that that is such, and I will be bothering you for research, because that is such a, those are such beautiful thoughts on it too. Did it just celebrate its 25th anniversary? Is that coming up? I'm trying to find my my date anniversary, my angle.
Yeah, totally. Well, actually, November is a big month. I want to say November 1st. So there are two big dates for it. 1998 was when the
Okay.
first module went up, but it wasn't until I want to say it was either October or November in 2000 when the first crew went up. And since then, there's
Okay.
been a constant rotation. from all these different countries, mostly Russian and American, but obviously there's been so many more. Hundreds of astronauts have gone up there and cosmonauts. So yeah, it is. I think they're celebrating the 25th consecutive year of crewed habitation up there right now.
I mean, I love that. Both of those are such great ideas, guys. This is extremely helpful. I've had friends like send me articles. They're like, "You gonna write something for this?" And it's like I said, it's usually like 4 days before it happens, and then I'm like, shoot, how did I not hear about that? So people gotta let me know. People gotta let me know this stuff. But I can't believe I've not thought of writing something for the ISS. That is such a good idea. Such a good idea.
Yeah, well, if
No
you come up with
pressure.
something, I can't wait to hear it.
Oh man, thank you. That's awesome to hear. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for the suggestions, guys. That's very cool.
For sure.
Great question.
That's so awesome. Well, let's kind of bring things around to home plate. Let's round third here. We just want to again say thank you so much for your time, man.
Oh my gosh, what a pleasure. This is a total joy. Seriously, you guys are the best.
I'm happy to hear that, man. I hope this isn't the last time we get to talk. There's so like I said, so much more to cover. So if you're willing in the future, we would love to have you back, man. I mean,
thank you. I'd be honored. I'd be totally honored. This is so much fun.
Part 2, hopefully.
Yeah.
And we know that you've got so much going on. You're operating at a super fast pace in your own world and your career. Before you leave, can you give everybody a little promote yourself? Take a minute to just tell us what's coming up, what we should be paying attention to, and what you're excited about.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you. I am wrapping up Atlas 3. So basically all of 2026, I will be putting out the rest of Atlas 3 songs, which will basically get me to the end of the year, I think. But the next song that comes out is called Want. And the song after that is a sibling song. It's called Have. And so those songs will come out pretty close to one another. And then I can't remember if I mentioned, but I've been, as part of the same thing and kind of putting them in theme with that spiral dynamics idea, I've been doing a song for each of the Greek definitions of love, which has been a really fun exploration of that. So I have my 2 sibling songs per, EP essentially, and then it's paired with a love song. And so the next one is self-love, which is that's a tricky one. So I'm working on that one. I'm currently writing lyrics for that, and it is giving me all sorts of trouble. So
love to hear
it. Yeah, so this is not great. This is not a great way to, but yeah, I'm gonna be finishing that. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else is coming up. I'll be doing. I started playing shows. I have not played shows in the last decade of my career. Before that, I would tour all the time, and now I'm back to playing shows. I've sort of I don't know, not talked myself into it, but I always would say that I prefer writing and recording, and I think that it was mostly just about insecurities. And so I am challenging myself these last couple of years to all right, go play some shows. And so I will have a Europe tour coming up next year that will bring me to all sorts of places I've never been. And then before that, actually, in a few weeks here, I'll be playing in Chicago. My first ever full orchestra, full choir concert that will be half Christmas songs and half my regular music as well. So that'll be a really fun evening with kind of thing.
What date?
That's November 29th in Chicago.
November 29th. And where's the venue?
It is in Chicago at the Auditorium, it's called. And it's with the Chicago Philharmonic and the Chicago Chamber Choir. And so yeah, I'll be premiering a bunch of new arrangements for some of my Christmas covers that I've done. And then also I'll play songs like Saturn and a bunch of my normal things with full orchestra and choir. So I'm very, very excited about it. Yeah. I'm very spoiled. I was like, I don't play shows. And then I decided to play shows, and I get to play with orchestras.
That is so cool.
Very spoiled. Very spoiled.
Yeah. I'm so happy to hear that. And
Tan, we got to go.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Nick, clear. I don't care what you're doing, man. Clear your schedule.
Yep. Yeah. You can come stay up here. We'll go.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Ryan,
awesome.
I have to share one last thing, I promise, and then we'll let you go here. But this is kind of unrelated to astronomy, but it's there's just like something in my brain that's telling me like I just had to bring this up. It's a full circle moment for me. But I have to give you a little bit of context and it'll make sense. But um,
Yeah.
so I do a lot of live streams on TikTok, and I love showing people space. So I'll show the moon, and I'll do live streams of meteor showers. And early on, when I started TikTok, this was back in 2020. Um, there's a very special person, and she's been just a big supporter throughout the entire time. If you know what a Patreon is, right? She was one of
Yeah.
my first
Yeah.
subscribers, and uh, I just want to share this photo. This
Oh,
is her,
wow.
the song that changed my life, and I just kind of wanted just to put it out there and
Oh,
kind of honor
oh,
her
that
for being.
is that. I'm looking at. Is that a Saturn lyric?
Yeah, yeah,
Jupiter and Saturn. Oh, that's so sweet. That is
yeah.
really cool.
So although I don't know this person, like I've never met her, she's just been one of the biggest supporters, and I just felt like it was a full circle moment. And I think she's in here, but yeah.
Oh,
Thank you for
Ashley,
making
thank
such
you. Thank you
beautiful
for
music.
wearing those words. That's so cool. Oh, thank you for saying that. Thank you for sharing that with me too. That's so cool.
Yeah. Um,
It's really special.
I appreciate you. There's a lot of cool things that have happened in my life, and this is definitely going to be on the list. So appreciate your
Oh,
time. Thank you so
oh,
much.
seriously, such a treat. I love getting to talk to you guys. And thanks for creating the galactic window. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
It's our pleasure. Well, best
Yeah.
of luck in your show in Chicago and your upcoming
Thank you.
songwriting endeavors. And we hope that you have a wonderful night, man.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me. And I hope to get to chat with you guys again soon.
For sure. You bet.
Sounds
Looking
good.
forward to it.
All right. Bye guys. Thanks
See
for
you
See you
listening,
Ryan.
later,
everybody.
Ryan.
See ya.
Whew. Mad
What do you?
chills. Mad chills.
It's like now what?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm like, I feel just like honored, really. I think back to some of my early memories of listening to Ryan's music, and one of them, I was up in Door County, Wisconsin, and I was out shooting Milky Way on the beach, and I had my earbud in, and I was listening to Saturn. I just discovered the song, honestly, and I was in tears on the beach because I couldn't believe how how powerful this music could be, and how it can shape your experience of looking out into the literally the infinite depths of the cosmos, but also be listening to the infinite depths of the power of music at the same time, and it wrecked me. So like I said earlier on, full circle moment for sure, to be able to talk with Ryan, and yeah, honored is what comes to mind for me. What about you, man?
Yeah, there's yeah, just to be super transparent, today was a very emotional day. We have we've been planning this for a while,
Mhm.
and it's funny because it overlapped with the season 3 launch too. And you guys know we took like a 3-4 month break,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
So there was just a lot going on, and life will do its thing. Life just finds ways to just throw things at you. So it was a lot, and not only did we have the opportunity to come back, but have a cool guest. Something that you guys know really well. We play his music all the time, but yeah, what a cool opportunity.
Mhm.
Humans are cool, man. Sometimes I know it sounds silly, but sometimes I forget that there are really cool humans out there, especially whenever you turn on the TV or maybe you see a headline, it's easy to forget that. It's like, man, this can't be real. And then
Mhm.
maybe you meet someone like walking down the street or the cashier, or you drop something and someone picks it up and it sparks a conversation, or you have sleeping at last on your podcast.
Yeah.
It truly is such a incredible thing. So
Mhm.
I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped.
Good,
I'm pumped
good.
to be back. We're
Yeah,
back.
dude. Season 3, everybody. It's real.
Yeah.
It's
We're
happening.
also taking a break after this episode. We'll be back next year this time.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. This was the whole entirety of the season, was the 1 hour we've done so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Dude, it's wild. There's just yeah, I mean, you said how did you describe today? Emotional? What did you say earlier?
Yeah, emotional.
I'd say kind of the same. And the 4 months that we were out for our season break, it it was a bit of a time warp. Like for those of you who know Interstellar and you think about time dilation, when you're near a massive gravity well like a black hole, it warps time. Relativity comes into play. I feel like that's kind of what happened during our break. Time moved by kind of slowly up front, and then it just warped exponentially. And tonight we reached the event horizon. Things just sped up so quickly, and even the feelings sort of were delayed, and then it was like boom, here we are.
Oh yeah.
Right up the show, I'm feeling that cocktail of emotions, and but overall, I'm very overwhelmed in the most positive way. Like I can't reassure or reinforce that enough. It's a very positive feeling I'm experiencing right now. So I'm happy. I'm happy to be back, and I'm just looking forward to what's next.
Yeah. And I just want to give a huge shout out. We've been not really ignoring you guys the entire time, but oh my god,
We got to
thank you
catch up
so
on
much,
a
Tiffy.
lot of that stuff. Yeah, the
Yeah. So, uh, by the way, guys, this is probably we're gonna talk a little bit about season 3 and some of the things that are different, and we can take this opportunity to hang out in the chat for a little bit. First of all, just seriously, thank you so much for being so patient with us. I know this episode was a little bit different. Normally, we're kind of engaging and pinning stuff the entire stream, but this one was a little bit different, and I just really appreciate you guys being so patient with us. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, we've had a lot of people in here tonight. Uh,
Yeah,
glad to see you love the episode.
I'm just I'm honored that you guys would also decide to join us. Just whatever you're doing tonight. We've been kind of pushing the promo on our channels for a while now, and you just don't know what that's going to yield. And um, I'm kind of I'm like overwhelmed, I guess, in a really positive and beautiful way. Just for statistics reference point, I think aside from episode 50, where we were at Yerkes Observatory, which obviously was a very huge event that we kind of pulled off, I think we had 90 something people in the lobby during the live stream of that episode. I think tonight during a standard stream like we have, this was our highest attended episode in the 50s. I think I saw 54, maybe 57, something like that. I have to go back and look, but that, I mean, it cannot happen without you guys. And so thanks for looking for our ads, our promos on social media, and saving the link. It's so helpful, and it really means the world to us to, um, have as many people as possible witness some really cool stories about space. So
Yeah, absolutely. And the beautiful thing is, this video will live on. So if you maybe want to revisit it, or you want to share it to someone that you think would enjoy, um, do the internet thing, and that goes for you listeners out there too. But um, yeah, like Nick was saying, just so much support from you guys, and we are truly grateful and honored.
hmm. So let's just talk a little bit very briefly about what's different about season 3. I think that'd be worth kind of addressing, because obviously we've made a lot of changes, and we've sort of shared throughout the break in different ways, but also when we were leaving the show in maybe 58 and 59, we kind of alluded to what we'd be doing. And I would say that you and I have never been in more contact than during these last 4 months. So we assure you we did not take a siesta. We didn't lay on the beach sipping drinks with an
Pina
umbrella or
coladas.
anything. Wait, what's that?
Pina coladas.
Yeah, exactly. Tan and I have been very, very diligent about discussing and daydreaming.
Well,
um, what's the word? Just dreaming, I guess. Dreaming up, new ideas, and also working. And that work has been to kind of make some creative changes and some structural changes to the show. So Tan, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest things that I'm excited for is going to be our um new runtime. So like we're still going to do every Monday at 9 p.m., but we're going to try to keep it around an hour. And I don't know. Nick and I talked long and hard about this. It's like, man, sometimes we just want to go on and do a 4-hour stream. Um and we just felt like an hour is going to be like a nice sweet spot that people would enjoy. So I'm mostly excited for an hour. It just feels like you're watching like a normal show, right? So you tune in 9 o'clock every week, and you burn an hour, and that's it, and you rinse and repeat. So that I'm really excited for that.
Mhm.
There are some other changes. Maybe Nick, you want to? I'll pass the mic on to you.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like some more like nuts and bolts sort of things. I mean, the podcast has a new look. Like if you guys are familiar with the show, historically, we've had a very like kind of purple aesthetic. And we've shifted that to a more grayscale look this time around. We've also have a new logo, a brand new intro video, and a brand new theme song, which we have had custom created by our friend Oliver Dodge. So if you guys are looking for some fantastic music, you can find him on social media at Oliver Dodge. He's one of my dear friends, and he custom wrote the new theme song for us. Beautiful collaboration, and he's insanely talented. So please go give him love, follow him, and listen to his music. He's on all the major platforms. So fantastic human being, and we love him so much. So thank you, thank you, man, for helping us out with that and creating the new vibe that we've got in the intro. We were looking for something, that was ours. Everything we had been using in the past was, stock stuff, and that's fine. You can license that, but we wanted something that was, completely created. And Tan and I gave input. We gave references for the music. We're like, hey, dude, can you make something out of this that fits this structure? And he made something that I think is beautiful. Huge fan of it. So yeah, there's just lots of little details like that we spent a lot of time creating, and that list grows ever longer, for the little tweaks, and it takes up more time than you think. But we had a lot of fun doing it. So I'm glad it's all going well so far on episode 60. Let me tell you.
Yeah, big shout out to Oliver Dodge.
Mhm.
Super grateful. And I've seen a few comments about you guys really digging the intro. And that means so much. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's something that we spent a lot of time figuring out. Just even like the countdown
Mhm.
before, if you guys remember, there was like a 2-minute timer before we launched the show, and now we're just keeping it 30 seconds. Intro is short and sweet. I
Mhm.
just feel like it just encompasses so much in such a short time, and it just shows like who we are in just a few seconds. And you guys know me. Sometimes I am just just give me the short version, right? Give me something digestible, and I just love that so much. So a big part of that was just credit to Nick here. So big hats off. If you guys like the intro, your boy over there was responsible for that.
Uh, glaze me, dude.
Glaze him, glaze him.
I do want to add though that it's not, you're not totally off the hook. One thing that's kind of this is our little maybe form of an Easter egg, but every single shot in the intro, every single element was created by us, which is what I think I'm most proud of that is every shot of the night sky, every shot of whatever it is we've included of us, the silhouettes, those are us. That's Tan. And then those
Yeah.
shots, that's me and you out in the desert at Joshua Tree this year. That's your shot of the meteor straight out of a live stream. So I think I'm most proud of that. Collectively, you and I have this insane library of captures of the night sky, and we got a cool, unique way to kind of showcase it a little bit. A lot of these things just sit on solid state drives or hard drives, you
Collecting
know.
dust.
Yeah, collecting
Yeah, for
digital dust.
years.
Yeah. And this was a moment where Tan and I were sitting there, like, let's just dump all the best of the best stuff that we've got that we think is really engaging, really, really captivating, and will help people feel an added sense of wonder for the night sky. It sets the tone and the mood right out of the gate as you enter the show. So I really think we kind of hit that, and I feel extra special that it's all stuff that we've got. We didn't pay for stock footage in any capacity for that. So anyway.
Well said. Nick is just basically trying to say, please glaze us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give us a little bit of dopamine. Just give me a little boost. I need it.
Yeah.
Give me a little. I want to be big headed for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
So yeah, we're really excited for season 3. We're excited to be back to our regular scheduled programming, and I don't know. I'm excited for the new look too. I have the same snake plant that I used last time. I also realized real quick that I forgot to water it, so it's looking a little moody or sad, but these things are pretty resilient, just like Nick and I. So we're not going anywhere anytime soon. But yeah, just wanted to switch up the vibes a little bit. And again, we hope you guys continue to come hang out. And even if you can't come hang out live, we hope you continue listening, because surely we're gonna have really cool guests like that. That's the plan, at least. It'll be a lot more interesting, just than listening to Nick and I yap for an hour. But yeah, we're excited to be back, y'all.
I would say that your plant it's giving me hope, though, because it's kind of like space exploration. I imagine us going to Mars, and even just one plant would make a difference, even if it's struggling. And I like that representation. You could have easily gone for a sterile space station level environment, but instead you're like, let's add a little bit of green, a little bit of Mother Earth into this, and it's reminiscent of not reminiscent because it hasn't happened yet, but it's foreshadowing for the human experience in the cosmos.
Agreed.
Oh man. So yeah, let's kind of bring things around the corner, because we are kind of past our time limit here. But so you guys, just a reminder, every Monday night, 9 p.m. Central Time, we're back here on YouTube streaming live. You can also catch the replays immediately after the stream ends. So if you miss it or you fall asleep or something, you can come back and watch it, the next day. No big deal. You can also find us on all your favorite audio podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music. We're there. Just know that it usually takes about a day or so for us to get the most recent episode up. So if you want to stay up to date, finding us and watching us live on YouTube is the best way to watch the show. Also, something that we did in the interim was we updated the memberships here on YouTube, which of course is a completely optional way to engage with us, but it is very helpful in helping us kind of keep afloat, stay above the water as we keep the show going. So if you guys want to support us in that way, you can click the join button on YouTube just below the video. There's only one tier now, and it's $4.99. So hopefully not too bad for you guys if you are in of that mindset of I love to help in that way, in that capacity. We would love your support there with memberships. And to be clear, there are perks that come with that. And I'm going to pull those up here. I can show you guys. Yeah. So if you decide to be a Galactic Window Space Podcast supporter, it's $4.99 a month. And you can cancel anytime. No big deal. But you get a loyalty badge next to your name in the live chat, and those change color over time the longer you're a member. You get custom emojis to use in the chat. You also get access to member-only videos on the Orbital Alliance YouTube channel, and those are super fun. We've got at least one up there from this year when Tan came up here, and we kind of did a secret podcast. So you get access to things like that. You get to ask podcast guests questions in the chat, because we'll know who you are. We'll know you have a star next to your name that you are a member. So we'll kind of prioritize questions for guests, and you never know, you might get to ask your hero a question. We might have them on the show. Special members only pictures and posts. So on my channel, the Orbital Alliance here on YouTube, I'll make posts sharing kind of news and updates, but there are members only posts that I make that are exclusive for you. So you guys might get a sneak peek every now and then. Member shout outs. We like to shout out our members here on the channel. So your name might get mentioned here live on the stream, which is always super fun. And lastly, this is the newest feature, which we're calling member only live streams. So what we're going to do is we're going to be hosting separate streams. Oops, there we go. Separate streams after episodes where we have guests, and we're going to end the show, and then we're going to start a brand new one for members only, where you guys can come in and chat with us. And we will just engage with you guys. It's going to be sort of like an after hours, after party sort of environment. And we're really excited to introduce that. So, but you can only do it if you're a member. This is a good chance where you guys can ask us questions, maybe about the show. Maybe we can discuss the guest that we just had on. And maybe if we're fortunate enough, we can have the guest come in and interact with you guys too. So that you just never know if that might happen. So we're excited about that, and we'll be kicking that off in the not too distant future. So yeah, no pressure, completely optional, but we're grateful because, again, it keeps us afloat and helps us cover the fees of for memberships for StreamYard, which we use to broadcast and host the audio podcast as well. So thank you guys very much. Rant over.
So it looks like there's a little bit of conflicting prices here. We might have been gaslighting you into thinking something else. We'll definitely have to look into that. It's looking like it might be two different prices, like for mobile or for premium members. We're not sure. We'll look into it. But I just want to give a huge shout out to the two members that two new members here. We got Lilac Child. Thank you so much. And Ashley and Ashley. And I hope we didn't miss anyone else, but yeah, we'll have to take a quick peek at the prices here.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. So whoever mentioned that or shouted that out, I'll have to go back and take a look. There could be a number of different things that are at play here, but the best of my knowledge, we set up a $4.99 tier. So it's possible that kind of maybe like how TikTok, with their coins, like it costs more if you buy it on mobile. And if you buy it on desktop, it's cheaper. So maybe that's a thing with YouTube that I wasn't aware of. So we'll find out and get some more clarity for you guys. Gosh, yeah. And we also got Blue Eyed Sunshine Nate. Tony T.
Oh, let's go,
my brother. Yeah, dude. Thank you so much.
It's Tamara. Me, Natasha, Princess Tamara. All right.
Harmony.
Oh, no way.
And Tiffany.
Oh, I missed all these. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Thank you guys so much. Also, we got a bunch of supers too from Mod James, Narwhal, Tiffy. Seriously, you guys are so awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yep. Supers are also another way, a one-time way of supporting if that's more your thing. You don't want to commit to a subscription. You can click the little thanks button or the $sign, I think, in the chat, and it will lead you to a way to do that. But again, all optional, not required. The ultimate way to support us is by showing up and enjoying the show. That's all we ultimately ask for. So
yeah.
Oh man.
What do you say? We bring it home?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. You guys, it's good to be back. We hope you're enjoying the show, and we look forward to see you guys next week, 9 p.m. Central Time, right here on YouTube for the Galactic Window Space Podcast, episode 61. Coming at you hot. Any last words, Tan?
Oh yeah, big shout out to everyone over on TikTok. I know I have the comments disabled, but I promise y'all it's a little bit more fun over here. Wink, wink. So yeah, you guys get a pass this time, but in the future, please do come over to the other side over here on YouTube and come hang out with us.
I like those choice of words because I'm about to say the same thing in just a second. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Love you all. Appreciate you for being here, and hope you learned something and gleaned some beautiful nugget from our conversation with Ryan, sleeping at last. And we'll see you next week. We'll see you all on the other side.